days away from the draft. The Commanders will be on the clock when the second pick rolls around, where they're projected to pick Jayden Daniels, who's coming off a Heisman-winning season at LSU, spent some time in Arizona State, where now Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce was a member of that coaching staff. Daniels hopped on Shannon's Nightcap show with Chad Ochocinco and gave his thoughts on a possible reunion with his former coach. Interesting. Let's watch.
What would that be like to be reunited with a guy that you was with at Arizona State?
I don't know how they're gonna pull it off, but I mean that's above my pay grade, man. AP just as a human being, he the right coach for that team. Just him and the intensity that it brings. He challenged people. He challenged me at 18, so I know if I was to go to the Raiders. I'm not saying I'm gonna go there or I want to go there. I want to go wherever my name called. But if I was to go to the Raiders, I know as soon as I step foot, he's gonna challenge me.
So, Dan, the Raiders don't have many assets to give up, but do you think they should just be ultra aggressive, go all in an attempt to get Jayden Daniels because that relationship with Antonio Pierce?
For Jayden Daniels, yes. And I understand mortgaging the future is dangerous and it weakens your football team. Before I say that about the Raiders, Molly, if I were the Washington Commanders, I wouldn't trade out. I would draft Jayden Daniels and be ecstatic about it. But if they decide not to, then if I were the Raiders, yeah, I'd be ultra aggressive. Couple reasons why. Number one, you don't matter, Raiders, and I love you, but you have no shot over the next 8 years unless you get a star quarterback. In your division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert now with Harbaugh, unless you get a star at quarterback, you don't really have a chance. The second thing is this: Davante Adams is 31 years old. You gave up a lot to get Davante Adams 2 years ago. At some point, the assets that were used to go get Davante, they got to kind of pay off. He needs a quarterback. No receiver in the NFL over the last 2 years has more uncatchable targets than Davante. The trade up and what it takes is always dangerous in the NFL. I understand that. But there's three teams that I sit there in the AFC and I go, I don't really know who your quarterback is. The Raiders are one, the Broncos are one, and the Patriots are the other. I assume it's Jacoby Brissett. Everybody else in the AFC has got a viable, at least starting quarterback, if not star. The Raiders, you don't have a chance in that division for the foreseeable future unless you get a start. At some point, you got to roll the dice and get ultra aggressive to go get a guy.
I mean, think about how magnetized that city was to that franchise. You placed $6 billion. You got everybody from Bob Myers, my colleague on NBA Countdown, to the one and only Irvin Magic Johnson and others playing a role in assembling this, not the squad itself, but from an organizational perspective, and you're paying attention to the city, particularly with the backdrop of Daniel Snyder, now being gone. You ain't passing up on that brother, Jayden Daniels.
You think that's a thing, Stephen A? I have not heard of that.
That is clearly. I'm telling you, that's a component. I'm not saying that I spoke to them and I heard that from them.
Sure.
I'm saying knowing Chocolate City the way I know Chocolate City, with all that it has been through, when you have an athlete who is considered electrifying, that everybody has as a top two prospect, okay?
Yeah.
And those other components I brought into the equation are there. You ain't passing up on no Daniels for no.
I agree with
you.
I agree. I wouldn't move if I was watching. Totally. Yes, sir.
Let's not make the mistake that a lot of people made with Mitchell Trubisky.
That's right.
Look, you passed on Deshaun Watson. His off-fields are one thing, but we know what Deshaun was his entire career with the Texans. Let's not be foolish. Drake May did not have a better career or a better season than Jayden Daniels. His ability to move, his legs, his ability to throw on the move, the ability to throw from the pocket. Let's not overthink this now.
Okay.